Hello, everyone. This is Sheri Kaye Hoff with the Living Joyfully podcast. I'm so excited to be here today with you. If you would like some free gifts, go ahead and head to the website, sherikayhoff.com. That's SherikayEhoff.com. I have a fantastic guest here with me today, and she is someone I have known for, I think like 13 or 14 years. I have followed her work. She is a brilliant and super fun woman. I want to introduce you to Mary Allen. Mary Allen is known to many as America's inner peace coach, author of The Power of Inner Choice, and host of Conversations with the Masters, interviewing best-selling authors, speakers, and coaches, including Dr. Wayne Dyer, Carolyn Myss, Byron Katie, Debbie Ford, and countless others. For over 22 years, her diverse, high-achieving clientele include business owners, entrepreneurs, moms, coaches, and even a couple billionaires. She helps people get out of their own way and enjoy exponentially more inner peace by transforming distracting stressors, achieving their goals, and embodying their highest self. Mary offers one-on-one coaching, leads the 5-day Inner Peace Immersion Retreat, and has produced numerous home study audio programs, including 5 Minutes to Inner Peace and Secrets to Profound Peace and Soaring Success, among others. Mary also has created the Inner Peace Reset. Mary is a graduate of University of Wisconsin-Madison and both CTI and Coach U. All her formal training results and client recommendations have earned her the accreditation of Master Certified Coach, awarded to the top 1% of coaches. Mary loves veggie smoothies and yoga. She lives in Laguna Niguel, California with her husband, John, and is a mother of 8-year-old twins. Welcome, Mary. I'm just so happy you're here. How are you today?
I am doing great, and I am so happy to be on your podcast, and I'm just thrilled that you invited me to be here.
Yeah, well, there is so much to talk about when it comes to inner peace, and especially in the circumstances that we find ourselves in the world right now. So when you're talking to your people, and I know I'm a member of your fantastic Facebook group, and it's so active and people are so willing to share. But when you're talking with people, what are some of the things that people seem to really struggle with when it comes to inner peace?
Wow. I think, we know it. There is so much. That's part of the challenge with inner peace is there's a gazillion ways that it can get interrupted. But we can kind of hone right in on, what all those disruptors have in common, and that is that it's resistance. So we just have so much resistance to all the different things around us, whether it's an annoying person, whether it's how we judge ourselves, like resistance to our own strengths. It's resistance to what we hear in the news, resistance to this opinion or that opinion. Resistance even to our own goals, resistance to taking on too much or taking too little. And I think that's part of the problem with the lack of inner peace is that there's so many ways for it to be disrupted that, we just kind of get lost in the emotion of it all.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. And I think like when I deal with my clients and really just people in general, one thing that seems to really happen a lot, I think almost every time actually, is when people are on the verge of a big change, all of a sudden, ego steps in and manufactures all these like events and sequences to really make things difficult and painful. I'm always, I've gotten to the point where I'm kind of excited when people seem to have kind of almost like that meltdown moment because it's right before some big, huge growth.
Yes.
But it's really, it's difficult to process through that. So what would you say for people who are pursuing a really big goal and then get that kind of fear and panic, that really is a big time inner peace disruptor.
Right, right. Oh, and I know that one too, as we all take on the next chapters and so forth. Um, the place I always like to start with that is to have compassion for all of those emotions, for being in the feels, for having the crappy thoughts that are sabotaging us, right? It's like that is the place to start. And I go there too sometimes as well. And what begins to get me out of that is the compassion for our humanity, first and foremost. And then there, we get to reset, right? We get to begin again. We get to come back to what's important. What are we really trying to accomplish? Why are we trying to accomplish it? Right. And it starts, that, and even the reason I say the compassion, I'm a big believer, since I talk about inner peace all the time. We want to get ourselves back into that place of inner peace, at least to a larger degree than when we're in the throes and the fits of it, right? So, and compassion is one of those ways that, okay, it's self-love. It begins to reconnect us into the here and the now, into this reality, into this present moment. And this is where we get tapped into our intuition. We get more resourceful, we get more creative, and we're more willing to take action. So kind of that combination between starting with compassion and then really, taking those extra steps to ground our sense of peace so that your own guidance can begin to pull you out of it. Or another big fan of getting outside help and support, right? Getting that extra perspective, which I know you do and you help your clients do. And it's why so many of us have coaches, even the coaches have coaches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What I think is sometimes a mistaken belief about inner peace is that I think people have a tendency to think of it as passive, that it's a passive thing. But to me, inner peace is in some ways the most active thing that you do because, I don't know, chaos is easy and reacting is the easy road, and the path to peace takes, deliberation, thinking, a willingness to grow and look at things differently. So when you have people say something like, well, I don't care too much about inner peace, I just want to make money, or I just want to hit that next goal, and then I'll think about inner peace. So what do you say when people have that kind of attitude about it?
Well, for starters, I totally understand. Back in the day, I had a girlfriend of mine who really had, she was all on this bandwagon about making inner peace your number one goal. She was promoting somebody that one of the lessons was about, on day 18, make inner peace your number one goal. And she's taught, and I literally was doing the eye roll thing in my head, inner peace, inner schmeesh. And it seemed boring. I'm a type A type person as well. And I thought, yeah, who's interested in inner peace? But then I had back-to-back breakups. I moved, of course, living with my with my boyfriend at the time. And, I was in debt. I was trying to work and grow my business. And suddenly inner peace started sounding a lot juicier and more exciting. And that was really my first turning point with inner peace. And as I began to work, and just paying attention to inner peace, and in those moments of reaction, like you said, kind of getting excited and digging deeper and having the transformations, ultimately what happened, over a concentrated period of time, I went from thinking inner peace, inner schmeesh, making inner peace a priority. And this is when everything turned around in my life. I went from that 60,000 of debt to 35,000 of savings in 9 months. I started launching and leading group coaching programs, which boosted my income well over 6 figures. I wrote my first book, The Power of Inner Choice. I met my husband within, then another 6 months or so of that. It's like everything really came when this place of peace became really well grounded. And I'll say this as well, because I get this a lot, right? With since I talking about inner peace is of several friends have said, Mary, I just don't get the inner peace thing. And then they'll come back to me. Sometimes it's a year later, sometimes it's a month later. Even people, one gal who worked on some of for my inner peace immersion retreat, she helped me with the copy for it. And she didn't tell me at the time, but she made a point to come back to me about a year later and said, I really didn't get the inner peace thing. But then my mother died and I went through this deep, dark night of the soul. And really what you said, all the things you said about inner peace finally had a chance to catch up to me. And, you're the reason why I've got inner peace here today, even though, it was very indirectly. So I get it. And, and inner peace really, I'll just say this, because I know I'm rambling on. I get passionate about all this. Right. Is inner peace is really, it's about alignment, right? It's about aligning with ourselves. It's about aligning with others, and it's aligning with reality. And when we're in that square alignment, we can make our choices and allow our inspiration to flow so much better than when we're starting in this place of resistance to all of those.
I'm just kind of soaking it all in. It's such good. I can just kind of feel the inner peace vibes coming from you through the, the line, the communication line here. I love that. So, when I think about inner peace, I think a lot of times people think, okay, it's, the Buddhist monk, or it's the nun or the priest, or, someone that all they have to do is be in inner peace and they have time to strive for that. But I know one of your big things is inner peace is about everyday life and how you live everyday life. And, when I read your book, one of the things, and this was, I think I actually read this like 12 years ago, but I remember it stuck with me, is you asked a question, what are you tolerating? And I think sometimes we tolerate things and we don't realize what a drain it is on our inner peace, and how if we just take care of some of those tolerations, that really is a simple way to add a lot of peace to our day. So can you talk a little bit about tolerations and what they are and how people can notice them and clean them up and what difference it makes?
Yes. Toleration is one of my favorite topics. So a toleration is simply something that you've been avoiding, putting off, a little bugaboo. It can be a little tasky item like changing a light bulb that has gone out, to getting the oil changed in your car, to a button that's missing from your favorite blouse, right? But every time you think about that, it's a little mini energy zapper, right? And so most of us have lots of those, not all conscious, right? So like subconsciously, we're sort of holding them somewhere in the background, but it adds up into a place of stress because we know that something is missing or, not getting taken care of. So what we want to do with tolerations is, first and foremost, is we want to do a download. We want to grab our notepad and just literally go around our house, sit in our office, just get, what are all the little tasky things that need to get done? What are some of the maintenance things that need to get done? What what are some of the big ones, like not having inner peace, or having an over flooded inbox, right? That might take a little bit more than just changing a light bulb, right, to fix. But once we get clear on what the big tolerations are, first off, we have relief there, but then we can just commit to tackling 1 to 5 tolerations a week as we're going throughout our regular day. And the result over time is that we free up so much energy and so much of that unconscious resistance that, again, the natural result is more inner peace. So it's such an important piece, and it's nice. I love it because we get that quick result. As soon as you get a closet reorganized that you've been putting off, or the drawer that just in your office that is every time you open it, it's zaps the energy. Or there's so many little examples. I'm sure people are starting to like, oh no, it's like, I don't want to think about my tolerations. But no, take them and pull out that sheet of paper right now, write them down. And you don't have to do them all now, but just, start chipping away at them one at a time.
Yeah, I like how you said that. It's it gives you that quick result. And actually those kinds of things do give you like a dopamine hit. It's like that feeling of completion. It's like better than a candy bar. It really is satisfying. And a lot of times we just don't even realize, how much environment affects us. Like there were 2 things that I tolerated that you just get so used to it, you don't even realize you're in toleration mode. And one was a really uncomfortable office chair.
Yes.
And the other one was my mattress was not comfortable. And, and I'd only had it a year. And I think I thought, well, I can't just get 1 year's use out of my mattress. And when I had that moment of, I wonder how much this is really affecting me. And immediately I ordered a new chair, and I ordered a really awesome mattress topper for my mattress. And if I were to say the measure of joy and inner peace that I got just from those 2 decisions, it was like feeling like I won the lottery, because you don't realize how, like, if your back's sore or, from those kinds of things, that it really impacts, the kind of daily joy that you have. So I so appreciate that the work that you do is on that, the simplest of levels that people can grasp and do today or get a handle on it today, but also that you go really deep and have people really think through some pretty heavy stuff, but in a way that doesn't feel so overwhelming. So I just love your Facebook group. And of course, I love and adore you and your cute, adorable twins. I mean, you're just really such a light in the coaching world. The world is so lucky to have you. So what is the Inner Peace Reset?
Yeah. So Inner Peace Reset is a 6-week group coaching program that offers a framework to help you claim inner peace as your new normal in challenging times and long beyond, right? So we are all, if we think about it, especially because of the pandemic, right? Everybody's life got turned upside down in one way, shape, or form, whether it was the lockdowns or having to do distance learning or pivoting in business. And that was a really good example of how so many of us needed to reset. It was, right, I kept feeling like, okay, well, when are we going back to normal? When are we going back to normal? And yet we're continuing to do life. So I created Inner Peace Reset as a way to allow, in a very systematic 6-step way, where you can reset when you need like a big reset. So maybe it's you've come back from maybe you've just finished a big, intense project that just has sucked all of your energy and time. And so like the rest of your life is sort of in disarray. Or maybe I had a friend that spent a good chunk of time in the previous year caring for a friend of hers that was dying. And so she put her whole life on hold just to be there. And so another example of when you might really need a reset. Those are big examples, but if you think about it every day, even multiple times throughout the day, we've got a reset, right? We get a bad piece of news, something that really jars us. Maybe we hear something in the news that just, deflates our balloon. Somebody says something, or, as we talked about before, beliefs crop up in your head and all of a sudden you're feeling just super, super stuck, right? We need a systematic way to get back to our place of inner peace, whether it's daily, weekly, or in those times when we need a more major reset. And so that's what Inner Peace Reset is just a easy framework for you to take with you for a lifetime to always be able to reference back. And in addition to the 6 modules, there's also access to me for group coaching so that when you've got those sticky situations, whether it be with relationships or reestablishing a habit or whatever it may be, that you've got that extra support to make your reset happen.
That program just sounds so delicious. I'm going to do it. I can't wait to do it. So I'm so excited for the next time you offer it. So for our listeners today, what is something like if they're, just got some bad news or are struggling with, family issues, just kind of those things that just really weigh you down. Are there some things that people can just kind of do instantly to get grounded and centered and feel a little bit more peaceful?
Yes. So there's some quick ways, and then I've got more of the heavy duty, when all the little things don't work. One of my favorite resets is really simply breathing. And very specifically, it's taking a deep breath in, holding for a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale and drop your shoulders. And then we can do it again. Take a deep breath in, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, drop your shoulders. And this simple breathing exercise, I don't know how you're feeling right now, Sheri.
Well, I think that every time I do that, what I don't realize is how tense up my shoulders are. Like when you say drop your shoulders, I'm like, oh, my shoulders are up around my ears.
Exactly. And when we're stressed, or even if it's subtle anxiety or whatever it is, we unconsciously hold our breath. And that little breathing exercise helps us come back into alignment with our breath, back into the present moment. And you may know this from a previous interview, but where I learned this was on the top of a 30-foot trapeze platform. And I would climb up to the top, and for some reason, my legs were uncontrollably shaking, right? And I'm trying to do the mind over matter business. I'm a coach, and I like this challenge of finding inner peace at any moment. And it was not working. And it was the instructor at the top that had me do that simple breathing exercise, 30 feet up. All I'm getting ready to hold on to is a little teeny bar and, leap. And I couldn't believe how well it worked.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a great example of something quick and fast. Another quick, fast one is writing down 25 things you're grateful for. It's been shown scientifically impossible to be in a state of gratitude and depressed at the same time, or in a negative state, right? And sometimes it might take all the way to getting to the gratitudes at, 20, 21, 22, like really getting yourself connected to gratitude. Another very simple strategy.
Mm-hmm. Those are good ones. And, when I think about gratitude, of course, there's, my family, my house, my car. I mean, so much to be grateful for. But I find when I get to the nitty gritty of, I'm so thankful for this hot cup of coffee, or, my really comfy pillows that I sleep on, like the really small things that we just don't even really think about. When we get to that, to me, that's what makes the gratitude just really well up, because it's easy to be grateful for the super fantastic things that we know we have. And we also feel like we should feel grateful for that. So sometimes when we feel like we should, but we should feel grateful for our husbands, but they didn't take the trash out or something. So that maybe we focus on that hot cup of coffee.
Exactly. And I'll add, last week we watched Dances with Wolves on our family movie night, and to see, of course, if we remember, Kevin Costner literally being out in the middle of the prairie, living in an abandoned camp with alone, only supplies, no hot running water, the fear of potential Indians and wild, animals coming into play. And my daughter makes the comment of, Mom, I'm really glad that I wasn't born at that time. Right. But, then we get really to get connected to, the controlled temperature inside, and the hot running water, and just the, how many things we have at our fingertips between Amazon and the grocery store, right?
Mm-hmm. I know. When I was in ICU like 5 years ago for about a week, and after about 6 days, 5-6 days, I kept saying, "Can I please have a shower?" And they didn't want to unhook everything, and so I kept being no. So when I could finally take a shower, I think it felt like one of the most happiest moments of my life to just have water running down my body.
Yes. So good.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, and since we're talking in the shower, we'll throw in one other quick strategy to find peace very quickly, and that's getting really present. So, and the shower has always been one of my favorite. I've got this idea of this practice called Now Practices, which is in my book, The Power of Inner Choice, where it basically helps you amplify the feelings of being present. One of those is engaging the senses, and nothing like engaging the senses in a hot shower, right? The feeling the temperature of the hot water, and the smells of the shampoos, and just the feeling of the touch, how the water feels as it, taps on your body, and as you're shampooing your hair, right? So getting, heightening those senses, whether it's in the shower or even as, wherever you're listening to this podcast, like looking around you, looking at an object on your desk, to just getting fully connected and present is also one of those rapid ways to drop yourself back into peace.
Well, you've just delivered so much here and so much value. If people want to learn more about you, Mary, what is the best place? How can they do that?
So best place is connect with me on my website, lifecoachmary.com. That's LIFECOACHMARY.com. There is a free gift to take advantage of there, 5 Keys to Inner Peace Now, which is in both ebook and audio format, depending on your favorite way to listen. And join my Facebook group. Sheri mentioned Inner Peace on Purpose, my Facebook group, which is a fantastic community. We've got daily questions to just bring about inner peace and expand awareness, daily quotes and Facebook Lives, and a whole lot more. So I hope you'll connect with us there as well.
Yeah, I have to say that of all of my Facebook group experiences, yours is probably at the top, or at least in the top 3 for sure, because it's so interactive and you're so active and have really, I always think whenever I write a comment that I think, well, it's likely that Mary will ask me to go a little deeper on this. Sometimes I think I'm commenting on something that there's no way to go any deeper, and then you'll ask something, and I'll think, I didn't think to go in that direction. So it's really a great place, and people are kind but also at the same time, I feel like people are kind but very honest. Like there's very diverse people in the group with very diverse opinions on things, and it all works. So it really is a great place for people to get to know you and other people who want to know about inner peace. So thank you for sharing that. And I just want to remind everyone that you can also visit my website, SheriKayhoff.com, SheriKayehOff.com. And I do have some free gifts there as well. Now, Mary, before we go, what is the 1 or 2 takeaways that you want people to leave here with today?
I think the biggest one is that you can affect your inner peace. You're not just subject to whatever's going on in the external world or your internal mind. You can do big things, little things to allow yourself to be more in alignment with yourself, with others, with reality, so that you can go after what you want to do, creating your business, living a fulfilling life, having the relationships you want. So you can 100% affect your inner peace, and it's so worth it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here today. And thank you, everybody, for listening in. And I will talk to you soon. So much love to everybody. Bye now.